Boo! I'm here now. I have an idea. I had a eureka. And I just need to, before I'm so tempted, I was so tempted earlier to just like start working, but I have like a new idea for the thing I've been working on, and it's gonna be something. So that means I have to set up for this. And by that I mean start streaming, and that's my setup. Nothing too special after that. Okay. Okay, so you guys have heard this a million times. You know what it is. It's the same thing it was before, but I had an idea, right? I'm just going to explain like where this came from. So yesterday it was May 4th, right? It was Star Wars Day yesterday. So I decided, why not celebrate by listening to some of the Star Wars music. And because I was listening to the music within like a concert kind of mindset and not necessarily within a movie kind of mindset, it was a little different. Because of course, having listened to the Holst and all that, you can hear the influence, but I found it very, in a way, I discovered that especially a lot of film music, and particularly Williams's film music, stands up a lot on its own, right? Listening to it purely as a concert piece, necessarily removing the film aspect of it. And I feel like some people have a difficult time bridging the gap in their minds between film music and classical music. Meaningful difference. And in that, I feel like, because then I wanted to like, study up on what Williams did to make the sound that he did, and I noticed it's a lot of romanticisms, a lot of tremolo strings, a lot of horns playing it. It's very romantic-esque. Is those features I've noticed. Romantic composers really like the horn, rightfully of course, but they utilize the horn quite a bit. In the classical period, there were horns, of course, but they weren't as prominent as they were in the Romantic period. And especially, big orchestra, tremolo strings, yada yada. So I decided to try some of that out. And I've come up with a sketch here. I don't necessarily want to keep it, but it's getting closer to what I want. Because I listened for sounds of grandness. How do you create a grand sort of sound is what I've been searching for this whole time. I feel like the emotion, not emotion, the vibe. I don't know about vibe, but whatever. Y'all are hip with the us. You know what vibes are. The vibe. I want grand vibrations coming out of this. Something very stately. And somehow I haven't been able to yet come up with it, but I feel like I have an idea now. And that includes stretching out the melody a little more, having a little build up, and making bigger use of the strings. I don't really make use of the strings, or at least I tried to and I kind of failed, but I think I can nail it this time if I just lead into it. I feel like my problem was that I wasn't leading into them correctly, and so it felt kind of weird to me. I think if I lead into them a bit better, it'll be good. I haven't read up a whole lot about how to orchestrate for strings, but as far as I know, it's something like, usually the cellos and the basses, they double each other, right? Not necessarily, but if you want that big sound, it's good. It's a pretty good idea. You could have the contrabass double itself, I guess, but I think we find that the cello is just more resonant, and you just leave the contrabasses to do their best to project this low note, right? And then I guess I forgot to mark Divisi on you guys. I should probably do that. Same with you guys. And like I discussed last time, cellos are pretty good at playing these higher notes. Like they can play these low notes really well, and they can play these higher notes really well. Cello is just really diverse like that. And then for these higher notes, I've assigned them to viola. This note, and I don't think, actually no, this one, yeah, these are violin notes. So they could be played on that, but I've reserved them for violas. They should sound fine, just fine up in their higher register. Violas are nice and bright there. Actually, violas are just nice and bright in general, but I'm just going to play what I have, and I'm going to explain what I want to do next, or what I think should change, or anything like that. I haven't actually listened to this in like a few hours. I went out to go eat dinner and just take a walk, so I haven't listened to this in a while. And this is where the melody would start, I think. And I'm wondering whether the melody should be in like a flute, or maybe even like the melody should stay in the violins, or something like that. Huge tip I recently learned: in an orchestra where 3 trombones can support a full orchestra harmonically by playing the chords alone, leaving you ample flexibility to do more with your lower strings. That's not wisdom I've heard before. Oh, okay. Well, obviously there's an infinite amount of ways to score, but in I'm not saying you're wrong, obviously. I'm just gonna repeat what I read, and then I'll comment further. What I've read in like Piston's book. What kind of time zone is this? Bro, I live in Texas. It's just 7 p.m. for me. I don't know what you want. Generally, what I've seen from, the classical is kind of vague. Like the textbook, I guess, the textbook way of composing and orchestrating music, which is mostly how I learned to orchestrate, is through textbook example, which is why my music sounds kind of generic, but figures. It's 1 a.m. Dang, sad. But yeah, from the textbook kind of reading that I did on orchestration, generally the strings and the brass, while they can be combined, they don't blend super duper well. They don't blend as much as the strings and the woodwinds and the brass. They're the most separate, and you can see they're the most separate on the score too. And of course it can be done, but generally, especially in louder parts, it's better for the strings or the trombones to have the harmony or the melody in louder parts. In quieter parts, generally, all of the instruments kind of blend together better, so then I can see that working a lot. But in louder parts, forte passages, generally it's a good idea to have them one or the other. And of course, some advice might say, like, the trombone, the brass is super loud, blares over the entire orchestra, so make sure you write them like relatively forte, and then like if you want the strings to stand out or the winds to stand out, make them super duper forte. But that's not necessarily the case either, even though yes, the brass is extremely loud. Strings will generally still prevail over them if you write for them correctly, especially staccato strings. Staccato strings will stand out very much over even loud brass instruments, right? And that's kind of a pitfall that people go into when they like read Korsakov's book, for example, on orchestration. But Korsakov was, of course, extremely concerned with chord writing and balance, which I think is great. It's just that it can kind of lead to some weird mishandling of his rules. What software are you using? This is MuseScore 4. MuseScore 4. Yep. Okay. Brass can very effectively play softly when done correctly. Yes, I agree. Brass can play nice and soft. But if you need it to. generally, of course, it's a good idea that if your melody is playing forte, then your accompaniment plays forte. Just feels more complete that way. Not forte as in like the flute is playing forte, so everyone else play forte. But more like, the perceived loudness of your instrument is forte. Okay, you know what I mean. You guys are classical musicians. You know what I mean by that. Okay, so this doesn't really feel quite correct, but it's closer. And I feel like I've been saying that so much recently, but it's closer, and that's what matters. I'm getting closer. I did like 2,000 streams of 2,000. Yeah, I did 2,000 streams of me orchestrating my first piece for orchestra, and now I'm gonna do 300 more for this one. Even though the original piece is like 2 minutes long, so it really shouldn't be that hard, but it is for me because I don't know if I would say perfectionist, but I'm definitely not lazy when it comes to music. Everything else, yes, but not this. I'm wondering here if I should have the second violins split this part and then have the first violins play the melody again. Is kind of what I'm thinking, but now it's in F major. There you go. And we'll just add an octave on top of that. I just want to hear what this sounds like first before anything else. And I think this needs to be supported with like a horn or something, like this horn. I think like logically this horn is leading down to A. It'd be kind of weird if you move back up to F here like this guy is. So I think like maybe even like a trombone actually instead of a horn. Spice it up a little bit. You play F. I didn't think so because of these higher notes I wrote in. Trombone could play these guys, but not you. Okay. At least not the tenor trombone that I have here. But then like this is like 3 octaves. I'm not sure if that'll sound super balanced. I think more accurately a trumpet or maybe like a clarinet would do better here. Anyway, it's just trial and error. I'm gonna make you slightly softer because I want the strings to be the shiny ones here. Of course, trumpets are very important, but still. Maybe I'll have you be quieter so then I can have 2 trumpets play this part. So there's a little bit of separation here. I haven't really panned out the instruments. See how all their panning's at 0? I think it would be better if I panned out the instruments. Hold on, I'm gonna change some of these trumpet sounds to my preferred ones. I'm gonna pan them a little bit. Okay. And I guess I'll continue writing out these chords first. I'll just put them down here. There you go. I'll put down the chords first. And now I shall continue. This one's just straight 5. But I think this one I marked as 5/6. I could make this one 5/6 would put you at C major over E, which would be, I mean, I guess I would have all you guys keep your common tones because of theory reasons. I like to put you guys all in second voice just because it makes me feel better. Where's my tremolo here? Doink. Okay, that's a little distressing. Apparently this doesn't quite work, I think. I think I'm gonna have to keep them together. Even though... Let me mark you guys as Divisi again. So you guys are all playing together. Actually, but would I actually need to mark these separately if I put them all in the other voice? Like that? That looks... It looks like the International Space Station. Look at that thing. Nope. How about we just keep it like this, I guess? I'm sure they know what I mean if I say play this right? That's probably fine. But then I guess, why am I doing it here? It's not, that wouldn't be... Okay, you know what? I'll just leave it at that. It's probably fine. Okay. This chord is D minor over A. I feel like this chord was in an... And then this chord is oh yeah, we're in F major now. Not B flat major. Does that mean, yeah, this would not be A, this would stay at E actually. No. Yes. Yes, it would. And then here 4, that would be F. Am I getting this all wrong? Something... I'm having a moment here. This isn't... These don't feel like the right notes. Hello. Hello. 3. That's correct, yes. And then 4. This is also correct. And then 7. Yes, and then 6. Okay, no. Crisis averted. And then I have 2-1 here. Originally this was 4-1, so I'm gonna keep it 4-1. There you go. I changed it back here to 2-1. So that this transition is nice and cool. And also minor chords are awesome. So now we have this. Just writing in the bass notes. Doink. That's quite a leap, but it's the bass, so whatever. And you're copying the bass, so I'm gonna have you copy the bass. Doink, doink, doink. Okay, and then your first voice is gonna play other things. This is A minor, so whoops, you do that. And you do that. And you do that. This is man, I'm blanking. B flat major and then E diminished. So yeah, this would go down to B flat. You would move down to D. You would move down to F. Yes, that seems right. And then like that. Yeah, this doesn't feel right to have these guys all separated out. I guess I could, oh whoopsies, do like that, I guess. And then just remove all these second voice thingies, these rests. There you go. That doesn't feel any better to me, but again, I'm sure they know what I mean if I do this. Even for the cellos, I feel like it's a little necessary because they did add this rest here intentionally. So whatever. Figures. Well, a good engraver would probably do it right, and I am not a good engraver. Where's this tenuto come from? This is right. This is the wrong note actually. It should be this. Good. You are moved on to this. And you... Oh wait, no. You are... Actually, yeah, you move down, but you move up here and you move up here. There you go. That makes more sense. I was like, why does everything seem so off? It's because they moved everything the wrong direction. This is D minor. I printed out the sheet music for Homesick and sent it to you. Would you sign it? I guess. I don't have like a good score of it though. I'd need a better one. I haven't sold it to anyone yet. No one's played it. There you go. Hold on. And you guys are playing tremolo. Don't forget it. You're going back to a nice B flat major. Look at that. The difference between 6 and 4 is hardly a note. Okay, so I'm just curious to see, or I guess to hear what this sounds like on its own. Let me just finish writing in all these notes here. Okay, you know what, for these guys, they shall be one joint here, one joint voice. Bop. And then these guys, they don't need to be. But you guys kind of need to be. But for this, I will keep them separate. And I guess I'll just remove these two noodle markings because they're confusing. I think the mezzo forte says enough. B flat, C, F. Or actually, no, you move down to A. You move down to C and you do this. Okay, so very generic. Haven't done any special things. Just wrote down the chords. Just want to hear what intonation, what is going on here. Crescendo. Thank you. Why are you off? Crescendo. And this is piano. Why are you guys not connecting? What happened? Ah, I see. The voicing got weird since I swapped out all the voices, so MuseScore's like, what do you mean? What do you want? But now it should be A-okay if I just replace all these guys. This it. Oh, please select the note, thank you. Pianissimo, doink. Okay, so all of the dynamic markings should be nice and aligned now, just like the stars when I wrote this, and I don't know why the crescendo extends over the bar line for this, but not for these. Sure, I guess. Why not? Today's work for me is going to be hell. Dang, you have 30 minutes to write an overture? Is that what's happening? Okay, I'm still not sure if these trumpets and violin combo would be good, but I'll give it a... I think these should be more piano and you should be slightly, or I guess this is less piano and this would be more piano. Okay. I just want to hear what it sounds like. Start again from the beginning. Why is this off? Why are you... What in the world is going on? Also, you guys are getting promoted to pianissimo. Maybe they should come in louder. No, you definitely need to be louder. And you guys also definitely need to be louder. I underestimated how quiet you would be, or overestimated how quiet you would be. Better, much better. Oh, apparently I crescendoed from mezzo forte to mezzo piano. That's awkward. No wonder no wonder you just cut off all of a sudden. Do that. There you go. That's a bit better. I was wondering whether you should crescendo at all, but I think for this you should crescendo a little bit more gradually. So maybe over like this. And then same for you guys. Okay. I also feel like this bass isn't heavy enough. It needs to be lower. Look at that nice low D1. But then that also means that you guys need to be lower. Doink. Okay, Jokay. Look how big that bar is. This thing spans the whole staff. Amazing. want to hear more tremolo. I think maybe viola is also tremolo. See what this sounds like. I'm not hearing enough tremolo. All you guys, tremolo. More tremolo. There's an earthquake happening is what that sounds like. It's so grand. The whole the ground begins to shake. It's an interesting kind of sound, but definitely not the one I'm going for. At least not yet. Maybe soon. That's interesting though. I think those contrabasses. Hear it solo. What, the melody? Oh, the tremolo. Yeah, hold on. I'll listen to the tremolo on its own. And can I have a louder tremolo, please? Thank you. Basses only. Your doom is coming to take you. Ay, ay, ay. Get rid of those. And also get rid of these. Hey, wait a second. You guys are... What? You're blue and you're blue. You're blue and you're purple. And you're blue! Oh my goodness. You guys... Your voice assignments. All of them. Thank you. Okay. The middle C trying to ring in the middle of the tremolo. MuseScore just plays the tremolo as 30 seconds. For some instruments, yes. For... Hello? I think for some instruments it does actually play tremolo. In these higher ones it's more apparent. For some reason in the lower ones it really does just sound like they're playing 30 seconds. Yeah, that's clearly tremolo, right? But then like, this doesn't really feel like tremolo. That doesn't feel like tremolo at all. But it did good here. The violins have correct sounding tremolo. That sounds right. So I don't know, man. I mean, it's probably fine. No one's gonna notice. Here, actually for this bit, you guys have a forte on the high notes. Don't decrescendo just yet. Decrescendo over here, towards the end of the phrase. Keep this phrase nice and loud. That is very low. And then lighten up the strings, I guess, by doing like this. Start moving the bass upwards so that we alleviate some of the tension in the lower parts. Okay, maybe not piano. What in tarnation? You guys, did I not transpose you? Oh, right, you're supposed to play F, not E. F. Okay, and then other stuff happens. I just wanted to extend out this intro a little more. I feel like their rhythm needs to be changed and other kind of stuff, but for now we have this. I feel like there needs to be more brass in this section here, even just like a little, but I'm not sure where I would put it. Or not brass, maybe just like winds instead. I feel like bassoons would go a long way here. That is if you could hear them over everything. Maybe mezzo forte is a little bit too loud. Also, the trumpets blare over the violins, even though I should have completely expected that for some reason. It still surprised me. Here. I did want 2 trumpets to play, but let's just have 1 trumpet play. I feel like more needs to happen here, right? I feel like the tension needs to be lifted. Like, there's this nice low D note here, but... that's right here. And then I want something very, very flowy to happen here. So have like not 2 oboes, maybe oboe and flute playing quiet. Oh, you guys all probably need to swell with the music and then, you know, and then decrescendo at the same time. I guess maybe we could just have the whole cast die down to piano and just see what that sounds like. So here the strings are also crescendo. The violins are getting kind of lost. I think everything needs to kind of chill out. You're fine. You need something to crescendo into, so I'm going to change you guys to like mezzo piano instead. And that'll make you guys a little less dramatic. But I kind of like the drama. Okay, too quiet, but better. Still too loud. Good. Okay. Do I want high oboe here, or maybe like just like the English one playing this here? Not sure how I feel about that. Weirdly, I preferred the oboe and the not the oboe, the English horn and the flute together. I think that sounded kind of rad, but also this is good. I don't really know. I don't really want like low oboe here. I don't want low bow here. Get out of here, low bow. Not what I need right now. You guys both piano. Okay. What now? There needs to be, I think, woodwinds come in. They haven't done like anything. They just kind of sat around here. So what shall I have them do? I feel like, of course, a bassoon needs to double the bass because it's a bassoon. That's what it does. I mean, not all the time, but some of the time. Or at least if it's going to do that, a contrabassoon should. I'm not sure if I even want to include it just yet, though. Definitely later. That or bass trombone, which I wrote here. I haven't written like much for bass trombone. But contrabassoon, this is a little bit lighter, and that's awesome. Let's write it pretty loud, just to hear it, and then. I don't think the country bassoon adds anything just yet. Perhaps in this next portion where I plan to have it more wind based in the accompaniment, it will sound better. Here it sounds a little out of place. What are you making? I'm trying to make this music. Whoops. Music too hard. Okay, so since I have the strings playing most of the harmony, I feel like the winds should be there, but like it should obviously be less harmonically dense. Otherwise, they'll just take over. Especially because strings benefit from open harmony generally. So you're F major. I'll just have you guys play like the normal fundamental notes, right? So maybe something like that. You guys are playing mezzo piano. I'll have you just play piano. Or maybe not bassoon here. Maybe bass clarinet on that note instead. Whoopsies. Okay, well if bass clarinet there, then clarinet here. And then I think for bassoon on the 5th. Other clarinet on the other octave, so clarinet, F, F, and F. Probably A would be good here for clarinet too, like that. That's good, and then maybe oboe on the high C here. So that these are playing in nice octaves. Oh wait, I forgot the bassoon. I mean, the clarinets really stand out, but that's just what clarinets do, they stand out. I don't really have anything, I mean, I guess I could use horns, but... Okay, you know what, well, let's try this. I'll write for it. If it's not good, then it's not good. I'm gonna copy the bass notes over to the U. Actually, do I even want you to follow the bass notes, or do I want you to just be the harmony? I feel like you should not play any. I'll just have you do the normal voice leading shenanigans, but I shall put chords here so I can follow them easier. Moving to 5, that would make you C major, so you stay. Oh, you are the bass. Here, you're playing the same notes as this cello here, so I guess you should actually follow this. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to play all of them though. Oh, you will. Okay. Just wondering. Look at all those stupid dynamic markings. They're all crossing over each other, all crossy-wassy. Get out of here. Okay, so... No, not what I want. Three, that's A minor. This bassoon's C, 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 C. I mean, that's technically correct, but it doesn't sound very nice. What about second flute instead? But then you would have to be on like flute or something in order to make it sound... Also, why are you weirdly so much louder than everyone else? E flat clarinet. Perhaps. I guess it could just have the whole clarinet family get out on this business. Instead, you guys do oh, not like that. Hold on. Like this. Where we have just the clarinets play. Look at that Connect 4. The whole family is there. Not sure how well you can even hear that over everything, but I guess worth a shot. This is B flat major. This is E flat diminished. Bass clarinet is so bassy. That's crazy. I'm glad the bass clarinet is bassy enough. And this is D minor, of course. Oh, whoopsies. And then you are not correct. You should be 4. Well, anyway. Let's delete these guys. I'll keep the Roman numerals in the bass instruments. You are 4, so you should be playing a B flat major. Here, silence you trumpet and silence you violins, but first violins. Definitely like a horn choir here, I feel like is coming up. To transition better from woodwinds to horn choir, I definitely feel like there should be a more oboe-like sound to this woodwind stuff. Clarinets, of course, sound fine, but they're clarinets. A choir of clarinets is basically what an organ is. I mean, I guess an organ is all the instruments because it's an organ, but like, you know what I mean. Let's put you like here. Let's get rid of you for now. I'm not really hearing that guy. And then we'll just have like the whole bassoon family get on this. And I want to hear what this sounds like now. It's so easy to hear the bassoons, but it's mostly because they're bassoons. I'm gonna have you guys play a little quieter. I need you guys to cease the tremolos. Or maybe do tremolo, but like only a little bit and not at these last bits. Like that. Kind of smoothing out at the end when you're decrescendoing. Okay, and then here... Again, this is where I said a horn choir should go, so I guess that's what's happening next. Let's see. F major. Like... Oh, whoopsies, that's not bass clef. Let me actually put you in bass clef. And then contrabassoon can play the low notes, because that's just what it does. Oh my gosh! Shush. Ooh, I think trombone should play the note C. Or... No. Trombone should play the F. Because then the trombone would be tonally similar to the contrabassoon, so it'll sound nice and epic. Right, and then I feel like this might be better on a... Oh well. Whatever. So, contrabassoon, horn, trombone... Yes, we can have this now. Okie pokey. A little louder, y'all. What a lovely sound. Okay. Again, these strings need to like fade off. I'm not sure how to do that nicely though. Okay, you know, I'll just write in the brass first and then be concerned about other things, so... There's a lot of Roman numerals right now, but I'm gonna move them to contrabassoon first. Contrabassoon! And then you move to C major. C major... oh, that's not... Sure, I could have this low C here. That would be cool. I don't think it will sound good, but I just want to hear what it sounds like. Okay, right, you guys move up to C major. Yeah, C. No, down. And then you have to move down to D minor. And then down to E minor. Hornus is kind of struggling there, but of course I'm not going to blame them. Okay, nice and rumbly, and then whatchamacallit, your D minor, so blop, 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 or F, thank you, and A and D, and then this is G major over D. Okay, and then I'll have you repeat this note. And then this is A minor. Add whole notes. 4. Oh, 4 is F major, so this looks wrong. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe this is better. Okay, yeah. Okay, none of you are playing E. You play E, I guess. And then you do it down to G. I guess you would have to move down to G then. And then you would move down to E. Okay, so this last cadence goes like this. 6, 5, 4, 1. Beautiful. Okay, now what does it sound like with you guys? There needs to be some kind of build-up, of course. I also feel like you have to be lower in pitch. Like this. But also loud, please. Maybe English horn combined with like a softer clarinet. Like maybe not E-flat clarinet. Just this clarinet. Also, I realize these slurs are not well placed. I should probably fix them right now. Before I... What in... Not what I wanted. Sorry. I wanted something more like that. What happens here? Probably some of you guys get... Some of these horns need to get doubled with like trumpets and trombones. Let's try that here at this part. Let's have this trumpet double the first horn. I'll write it here even. You're doubling horn 1. I'll say... you're a doubling horn 3. Why are you in italics? Or maybe you shouldn't double horn 3. You should do your own thing, I think. So just like add another note to this chord, you know? And the next note would be F. Here the next note would be G. I guess then you're just doing what this guy's doing an octave higher, so that's a good guide. Then I'll have this trumpet just do what the first horn is doing. Again, I just want to hear what it sounds like first. Sure. Definitely needs to raise up in volume or whatever. Can't just stay the same the whole time. Or maybe even like a tempo kind of change. We had one over here. This was like the beginning though, so I don't know if that really counts. It is gonna sound pretty loud, but I'm also just curious what this sounds like. Okay, well, it sounds fine, of course, but if this is brassy and heavy, then I guess this also needs to be brassy and heavy, which I'm okay with. Let's have trombone maybe do this. That might be fun. And trombone has a very, very elegant sound. I guess if it was going to be a trombone playing this, it would be the first trombone, so let's do that. Okay. Okay, but if you need to compete with the trombone kind of, so let's have where's that trombone? That pesky trombone. You're so loud. Shush a little bit, will you? Hello, y'all. Let's double. I know the English horn is not really like meant to project super duper much, because it's kind of a special instrument, but please. What about oboe? Oboe? How about 2 oboes? I don't really like that. I think trombone stands up well enough on its own. It's a trombone. It's majestic. You know it. You love it. It's... Oh, wait, hold on. I think I forgot to unsolo something. Yes, okay. You and cellos. That's pretty high. No, it's fine. I don't know. I mean, MuseScore says it's high, so I'm inclined to say that. I don't think that's actually super high. I think that's just fine. App you're using. This is MuseScore for MUSESCORE4. I'm gonna put you right here. Maybe like this even. Okay, obviously these slurs don't necessarily work for cellos. It's a little different. So what does it sound like though? Bro, what is this? What is that? Man, what that what does that sound? No divisi. I did mark them all the way back here. I just haven't really made it look like that, but why is there no legato here, guys? Do I need to mark it with slurs, maybe? Nope. Okay. You know what, cellos? As punishment for getting it completely wrong, the solo is getting played on viola instead. My best friend. So... I know you can do it, viola. You were always my favorite string instruments. Okay, but you are indeed competing with the trombone, so maybe the trombone should just shut up though. Shush! Shush! Okay, violas, I just complimented you. Why can't I hear you? Boost it! Okay, well, I admit now that I got a little carried away with this crescendo here. You guys are gonna have to shush, 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 shush. There you go. But also, you need to be louder because I say so. And crescendo here, and you crescendo here. Okay. Bassoon really isn't standing out anymore. It's too quiet. I think you need to be louder. but also maybe, of course, is where the tuba comes in. Contrabassoon sounds great. Tuba, you come in too. Maybe not that loud, because you're also a brass instrument. That's a little more satisfying, but if you're gonna die down, don't do it so suddenly. Have it be a little bit better. I think if MuseScore 4.5, it crashes. That's my opinion. My very, very well-researched opinion on MuseScore 4. There you go. I mean, it crashed before, so that's not really much difference. I don't really believe them every time they say they fixed a bunch of bugs. I mean, I don't even know if I can blame them, but like, man, Blender doesn't crash as much. Only timpani for percussion. I don't really use the other ones, except cymbals. I just removed the other ones just to clear my head of them because I don't use them so often. So just timpani for now. But of course I might add or remove instruments. Sometimes I feel like adding saxophones so they come in randomly. Sometimes I feel like adding something completely random like a tam-tam. That's not random. Like wood blocks. So it just kind of depends. But right now I don't really need them right now. So now we just have timpani. They're timpaning. Pretty cool. The Muse Sounds timpani is... it's good. That's all I have to say about it. It's good. Hold on. F, you guys here. No, I take that back. You guys feel like this. Get rid of the trombone for a second. That's pretty, but also pretty bad. Something feels kind of off about that. And it's not just because I got rid of the trombone. It doesn't have as much force to it. Here. I'll listen to it from the beginning again. Have my AP Music Theory exam on the 12th, freaking out. It's alright. Music theory isn't that hard except for when it is. So as long as you focus on the parts that aren't that hard, except for all the parts that are, then you'll be fine. Probably. Not really. I have taken music theory exams before and most of the points came from ear training, so I got good ears, I think. Okay, that's definitely sudden. You need to chill out, Mr. Trombone, and... Yeah, you guys need to like dovetail into each other or something. That is way too sudden. I don't want to sight sing. I didn't have to sight sing for my things, but I didn't take the AP exam. But we did do, you know, dictation where you like hear the notes and write them down. I'm sure you have to do something similar too. But I did have to do that. I guess you guys should have these chords be played so that you can transition into these chords a bit better. So here you want in the key of F, so that's a B flat major chord now. So you say F. Hello, hello. Oh, bass clef. Hold on. Joink. There you go. Okay. And you are 6th chord, so start at pianissimo. Okay, and then D minor. Oh no, I blanked out on that one. That wasn't too hard. Okay. Move all, or actually don't move those dynamics. Start here, go here. There you go. That feels better. But I guess then you guys should go to pianissimo. Bass clef for horn hurts me inside a little. Okay, there. We can have that then. Here, let's even remove the concert pitch because it's written in concert pitch right now. Yay. But I can't read that and I need to read it, so it's in bass clef now. Or maybe you prefer like alto clef. Yeah. Okay, I'll write it in alto clef just so you guys know exactly what I'm writing. Or I'll write it in whatever this is. Or this. Perfect. I don't even know what that means. I don't know what that... I can't even begin to tell you what that note is that these guys are playing, but pretty sure you guys can read that because you're professionals, so we're good. Ever seen a horn part or an alto clef? Because they don't read it. What is that clef? Oh, you know. It is an old alto. I don't. This is the soprano clef. Actually, if you can see down there in the bottom left corner, it says soprano clef. How does the soprano clef even work? This line here is middle C. I think it says C4 there. Wow. I'm putting this guy back. Ooh, you guys need to move back to piano like ASAP, I think. Or, no, you can decrescendo, but decrescendo over this long period. And you guys need to also decrescendo pretty quickly, like over here. See, I'm gonna keep complaining about this in the new MuseScore update. They allow you to select a note, press Ctrl D, and click a dynamic. Wow, awesome feature. Why can't I do the same thing when I select multiple notes? Huh? I've selected all these notes. I would like to use the Ctrl D feature to add dynamics to them. Instead, I still have to go all the way over here in order to click on a new dynamic, even though you implemented this feature where I can do a shortcut for it, but it only works for one instrument. Just one. If I select multiple, because I'm writing for all of these guys, I can't. I forgot to update MuseScore. Dang. I think my MuseScore updates itself, but either way. A classic MuseScore dev moment. True. So true. Okay, you guys also quiet. Oh, whoopsies. Why did I do that? There you go. I feel like also there should be like tremolo violins here. Just, when has MuseScore ever truly been perfect? That's a big question that will not have answers because it will never be. I think here, actually, instead of you guys, or actually, no, clarinets can stay. Clarinets are fine. But if we're gonna do something like this, I think it has to be more like clarinets, and like, I want there to be like a little shimmery. So we're gonna add some more tremolo strings, sitting around here. So do this. I'm gonna grab you, put you here. Do that. I only want or actually, there you go. Perfect. No, second violins, you can do that. Okay. And then that, yeah, nobody's playing that there. Oh wait, no, you stay here. And then since you're playing F, you're probably following, yeah, this voice here. So then you play E, D, B, B, and then D, D, E, G, A, G. Oh, whoops. Okay, and now you guys, because you're second violins, and solely because you're second violins, now you can play the tremolos. You're welcome. You definitely need to be heard though, so play a little louder. I guess if you're going to crescendo into something that isn't already the dynamic you're playing. Okay, cool. Whatever. That's probably fine. Ish. And here in the original, which I do actually have pulled up, this is the original that I wrote. Don't get it confused. I wrote this. I'm just redoing it. Also, I transposed it. That's why everything looks weird. I was originally in B flat major. I put it in F major for funsies, and I changed some stuff around, which is why there are some notes that look weird. And I think some of these notes might be impossible. I don't remember where though. I probably fixed it. But either way, I just did it for funsies. The original is in B flat major. But now, since this is in, well, C major actually, I'm going to take the old melody that's right here. I guess we'll hear it first. Alright, whatever, you get the idea. So we have this guy here, which I'm going to put right here in flute 1. Look at that beautiful G6. Gorgeous sounding. Thank you. That's very kind of you. I think here, because we had brass, we had strings, brass, and now we're like moving up the score, right? It's like keyboard. We're going back up, and now it's going to be in you. The woodwinds. I don't know why I paused there. That should have been obvious. I don't think... Oh, you can play this. For some reason I felt like you couldn't. But you can play this low B flat. I heard this low B flat's kind of a pain, which is why you're going to be playing C instead. Very different. There you go. You guys play that. Dynamics, piano, the science show. If there's going to be like this bright instrument coming in, there needs to be a bright accompaniment coming in too. So that's where my oboe friends are going to come into play. I want them to play the C and the E, and then like maybe clarinets can play the G's, right? So you play that, and you play that, and English horn, you play this low C, and oh wait, you're already playing that, and then you oboes, and then clarinet play this high G. So this... I feel like there needs to be another E playing somewhere in here, but whatever, I just want to hear what it sounds like first. Alright, that sounds kind of how I expected. You also shush, because shush. Okay, yeah, since they're woodwinds, they come in kind of light, right? They're very subtle. And also because I made them play piano, but the brass just certainly didn't come in subtly, which is why I had to do this, but the woodwinds, of course, come in at nice and subtly. Again, I wasn't quite sure if I wanted this low C, but I think I do. Here the chord progression is very, very simple. It's just alternating between 5 and 6. And then here is where it gets lighter. So I'm just gonna write these chords down, and then we'll just kind of go from there. You are... right, you're just doubling what you're playing. So you're playing the same thing. You not so much, I think. I think you need to play something different. That means you play B. Yeah. And you play C, and B, and C. Bass clarinet. We're gonna do the lazy composer way and do that. Beautiful, awesome. Since I'm so very lazy, you guys are just gonna do that. And then you... I don't think I quite like that. Something's wrong with this. And well, not that just that it sounds kind of thin. I think that can be easily solved if I like have the strings kind of boosted a little bit. Something else feels kind of wrong. How about you get played in flutes? Bass be played by a horn. That's a lot of ledger lines. I forgot you're a contrabassoon and not just the bassoon. Let's try like tuba. There you go. Tuba, save us. Actually, I don't think tuba is the right. I think contrabass is actually the right call. That will need a low C though, so let's just do that. There was a counter melody to go along with this, and I'm not sure if it'll sound too good, but it's worth a try. No, better. It was better on clarinets. Good. This very kind of droll part here. That's impossible. Whatever. What if I just have you play lower? Of course, it's not quite as clear, but I was curious if it would sound good. Kind of, only. Yeah, the problem is that although that ending sounds good, it doesn't lead into the next part very well. Okay, well, I got that down, I guess. So then you guys would have to be moving upwards in order to avoid that. That low note was kind of ruining it, I think. Still not sure how I feel about this combo of the accompaniment and the flute together. I don't really like it. But then I don't quite know what would go well with it though. To have like this lone flute play here. There's something that needs to double it, like a trumpet. But definitely not that. And also if you're doubling a flute, then shush. Okay, don't shush that much. Maybe a little louder? Nope, okay. That's what I thought. This could perhaps lead into like a tutti section, I guess, because originally it was supposed to be like a more graceful kind of part here. But of course that can change. It can be more spacious. But to do that, I would need to like not rewrite it. Well, I would have to rewrite it so that the instruments balance out a little better. But it can be done. Because these, like this woodwind writing, these bassoons would get so drowned out if I wrote like trombones and horns in, right? So, like, I think this is kind of on the right track. I feel like I might be forcing the harmony to create a tone which is not really very good to transition into, like a very nice and light one from a very heavy one directly. That doesn't really work. But also, if you're gonna come in hot, then don't come in that hot. Like, crescendo into it like this. Same with you guys. You a little louder, but... Okay, no, flute, make your presence a bit more known. Good. And if I'm combining you with woodwinds and brass, the strings need to be a lot simpler. So I think that's what's gonna happen. Very, very open. I guess this is better. And of course, it just alternates between these chords like I've shown before, so I will just be lazy and do that because I'm very lazy. There you go. Awesome. Laziness always wins, except for when it doesn't, but it usually does. I do this? I feel like bass trombone needs to come in here like that, right? And of course, so too tuba. There needs to be some space here for horns to exist. So what? No, not what I wanted, no. Add in this here. Select the dynamic. Okay, cool. No, wait, hold on, flute, shut up for a sec. Okay. It's very warm. It needs to be louder at some point, right? Like, somewhere around here, it definitely needs to crank up because I need it to crank up so that I can die down. But first, of course, more chords. I'll have bassoon play what the second horn is playing. I'll have this bassoon do what third horn is playing. Select the note. I clicked on it. So select it. And then clarinets here. I'm not sure. I don't know. I put in the bass clarinet for a thing, but I haven't really used it for much. So I guess we'll see how I use it in the future, which might not be much. You do what first horn is doing. And then oboes will get the next part, which is I think the trombone part, but an octave higher. Doop. There you go. Or maybe you two together, and then you two together. Probably just the normal clarinet in B flat would suffice her, but you know. Mute first clarinet, it's doing a solo right now. The oboes need to stand out a little more, so I'm just gonna, again, be lazy and do this. Flute also cover this, so the whole gang is here. I don't know why no one's playing here yet. This should be a C. Okay. Okay. Start from piano. Obviously, more like orchestra parts need to be in here. More stuff needs to be happening, rhythmically especially, but for now, I just want to hear what the instruments sound like together before I fancy them up. I'm just worried that if I raise them all too high, if I raise them up too low, then there's not really going to be like a meaningful change, but if I raise them up too high, then the melody is going to be stuck. Let's try raising them up half first. Oh yeah, let's try that. And then I guess you guys would have to play forte then. And I'll just make you guys align just for that. Okay. It might be really painful to delete these later, but we'll see if I don't like it or something, you know. This is so stupid. Look at all those dynamics. This is awful. Something bad's about to happen. Okay, well, you definitely need to get a boost. Maybe even be doubled with Piccolo, but... Okay. Yep, definitely too loud. Okay. You guys... shush. Brass first. Brass goes first. Much better immediately. Okay. This is where the accompaniment needs to start dying down. So I think what needs to happen here, tuba, bass trombone, stop playing. Legendary YouTube homepage poll. Welcome in. Horn, you're too low. You need to stop playing. But not this one. This horn is fine. Keep playing for a bit. All the woodwinds are high enough that it's fine. Like, I need to make it die down naturally. It's not enough just to make all the orchestra instruments like go to pianissimo. It's not enough. It doesn't feel natural. It feels like you're like in the studio pushing and pulling on a slider, and like the volume slider. I mean, of course there's a place for that, but like here where I need it to feel like, this is going to be a super weird comparison, but like when it's like a lift. You guys are classical musicians, right? You know what I mean by like lift? What it means to lift. Like, I don't really know how to explain a lift, but we're lifting. We're lifting off. And that's what's happening here. You guys are, yeah, you're playing the same notes. I'm just, because usually for these music things, I try to put things in layman's terms. I know some of you just like to listen to the music and don't really know what I'm doing. But like, I couldn't really think of anything else that wasn't just lift. Bass trombone is super resonant, and that's good, but not in this case, because I want it to be smooth. So here we're picking G major. There you go. And of course you guys need to up. And I guess, well, you don't have to because you're... No, I'll make you because screw you. That's so loud. But yeah, back to G major. And only some instruments will survive, and who will they be? Well, I'll tell you next time in 5 minutes when I finish writing all this. Which instruments will perish? Okay, let me just do like this first. And then I'll start removing instruments one by one. Definitely brasses are gonna go. Because here, this is like the climactic moment, right? So definitely trombone's gonna quit somewhere around here. There you go. Trombones, they're great. Love trombones. Too resonant for this. You guys need to shush. Horns also will die down, but lesserly. Higher horns sustain for like a tiny bit longer. But also you need to decrescendo. I forgot about that part, weirdly. Yes, beautiful. Okay. Cello can stay because cello is nice and smooth. Bassoon, even if it was contrabassoon playing this, bassoon's not very smooth. I guess bass clarinet would, but I think cello is what I need here and not bass clarinet. In fact, I'm not really using bass clarinet here, so sorry, you bass clarinetists. Let's see. Here we have, these chords are interesting because I marked them as 2 and 5 here, but that's not really what these chords are. Like this chord here, I'll just play it. Like that's functionally 2-5, but it's not really. So I'm just gonna have to figure it out. I mean, I'm not very precise with my chord markings, to be honest. They're a guide, not a definition, you know? So I feel like also trumpets need to actually like stop here. Maybe get replaced like dovetail into oboes, because you know oboes are like they're the woodwind trumpets. Piano. The science show. Oh man, all my oboes are taken up. Whoa, where did you come from? Where have you been this whole time, third oboe? Welcome to the family. Let's see. And then for this part here, because it's approaching the lower parts, I want you to be like nice low flutes here. So especially that means you go here. And then I don't know what to do about y'all. I'll figure it out. This is really strange, but I think this needs to sustain a little longer. Forte because you're playing lower flute and it must be more difficult to play that. We'll do you, no, you, No, you. Do that. Okay. Good. Seamless. I think this needs to be louder though. Good. Okay. What am I doing here? Okay, what instruments are gonna play at this part here? This is 1 over the third, so this is what key? C major. Yeah, C major. Look at that natural. So that's C major over E. I guess the violas are now playing the bass note. I don't like that. It needs to be cello. Not sure how I feel about that. Okay, I'm not sure if I've done this quite right, so I'll just listen to this section again. The trumpet's kind of blurred in, like, randomly. Okay. I think I'll write in this next chord and I'll figure out if there's a good transition into it. This chord here, this 2 chord. I think the order of these notes is going to be quite important. So there's this bass here. Easy. Okay, so it's a perfect interval. What? What happened? Did I open a new score? Oh my goodness. I bet that's what MuseScore just tried to do. I just pressed space twice to play the song, and yep, it's like, oh, you want to make a new score because you pressed space twice? I know I press Alt, but that's because I was pressing Alt Tab. Come on, man. You can do better than that, MuseScore. And then right after that... This is kind of a weird jump, but whatever. I don't think this works. This like cluster doesn't work because they're in strings. If they were in different timbres, it would sound better. But since it's all in strings, it sounds kind of weird. I think better is to just have you guys play, and then the rest of the guys can take over for whatever weirdness this is. I like. See, what would I put here? There's very strained bass clarinet up here. Okay, well anyway, let's write it in first. So let's have bassoons play E here. Both of them. And we'll have a clarinet. We'll have clarinets play F. Or maybe horn. Horn in F, play F because you're a horn in F. And then also A. Good. That's probably too many bassoons. This is fine. Okay. I feel like this D also needs to be played by a horn, so. Good, better, much better. Okay, then I guess I solved that mystery of how to arrange this chord. And then it moves to, well, it's 5, so. This is just any old 5 chord. Yep, okay. So you guys naturally... Oh. Also you move downwards. None of you guys are playing the note B though. So I feel like you have to actually move upwards. Okay. Can I have like a high English horn play this part? I was imagining like this little bit here sounds very, very strained. I need it to sound really strained, which is why I thought like high English horn would sound super strained. Super strained. Careful with high leaps on the clarinet. I know. They're not fond of them. I think this is, yeah, it's within an octave, but it's a little too pretty maybe. And then I think you're too loud. I'm just not sure if that's... I'm not even sure if that sounds nice, if the thing is. If I wanted a strained sound, then... that might be enough, I guess. Okay, or even like trombone. No, bassoon is thinner sounding, which is what I want. And I have 2 chords here that I've written down that I shall put right here, even though contrabass, you're not doing anything. Actually, that's a good idea. Maybe not that. Nope, sounds awful. Sounds like a saxophone. Get out of here. And this is a D minor over F chord. How do chords work? I forgot. Play from the beginning. Hold on. What kind of harmony do I want? I had horns. Now it should probably be like probably clarinets. I don't really see how that would work, but maybe in theory it'd work. You'd have to be quieter though. Both of you do that. No, I already don't like that. Maybe oboe. Okay, oboe, please. Shush. Oh, definitely one of these horns needs to stay, I think. Diminish 5 to 3 and then 2. I mean, that would work functionally. I'm just going off of what I wrote before, so that's what I'm rearranging. What chord is this? This is G major over B. So, because here I have my original, right? Also, what? I got it wrong. This... oh, right, not D minor. We're in C major. Yeah, wait, I got this completely wrong. I mean, it sounds fine, but let's have it be accurate here. Well, it still sounds okay, but I think that's just because this is a 4 chord now. F, A, and... or no, that would make that a 2 chord. That would just make that the same as this. I want it to be different. You move down here. No, you're still at A. This oboe just moves down to C. And I guess someone needs to play E here. Let's try a low oboe here. A low bow, if you will. I guess English horn was built for these notes. Okay, let's try G here. G, D, B. That's pretty. I feel like this oboe needs to be combined with something. Maybe like a soft clarinet. Same with this English horn, actually. Like, you guys just need to have some buddies to kind of round you out. I like that. And I guess, of course, just why not also for the bassoon. No, not for the low notes, but for these notes, that's good. And then this is where it goes to C minor temporarily. I'm not quite sure if this is what I want. Like, I just kind of wrote this out on a whim. Of course, I might go back to my original, and also the things that were inspiring me while I was writing this. So let's start from the beginning again. Again, definitely need more rhythmic interest, I think. I'm not sure if I'm satisfied with this. Okay, immediately I'm kind of like, that doesn't sound right. Something's not right. The constant swelling of the notes does not feel right. It needs, if there's going to be something like this, it needs to be more gradual. Having them all kind of do their thing all at the same time is just, it just feels wrong. It doesn't feel right. It's not natural. So if I were to make it feel more natural, I'd have to adjust the dynamics here. I think here it's okay, but across here it definitely needs to be more gradual. So like, man, I wish it was easier. So like dynamics. There you go. Hey. Same with the melody, doesn't really need to do anything like this. I realized the trombone's playing a little quiet though. I can definitely boost its volume. I'm not sure if I like the horns playing here. They're a little murky. They make it a bit murky. Okay, you need to definitely go louder sooner. Like here. And you guys definitely do not go up to forte. Okay, what just changed? There. Okay, try again from over here. I feel like that chord needs to be like diminished or something. I might end up like replacing some of these chords, right? But for now, like the orchestration itself needs to sound okay before I modify anything. I'm not sure about that. How about you get put in trombone? I also don't really like this here. The transition there feels weird. I'm not sure if I like these horns so much. I think the high horn is okay. This horn here feels off. Or actually, let's get rid of this horn here, replace it with these clarinet notes. Okay, that's better, I think. What a sound. I think this has gotten me a little closer. It's, of course, it's still not quite what I want. I'm definitely going to spend more time thinking about it and reworking it. I think what I should do next is I should go back to my original and then like specifically mark down what I want to happen. I don't really have a game plan when I was going here. I was just kind of going on instincts, and that's usually good, but otherwise, if I don't have some kind of structure, I'm just going to kind of meander around musically. So that's unfortunate. I that's no good. Okay. Well, this is going to be kind of a shorter stream today. That'll be all for now. I will see you guys later. Make sure to subscribe and join the Discord. Those links are in the description, and bye bye.